Hello. I don't know, it's probably been well over a year since I've made a part of my vlog, and um, I did get some comments recently, so I thought I would go ahead and kind of post where I'm at, what I've been doing. So my last dose of like Tepezza was probably about a year and a half ago, so it would have been in mid 2022. Um, I had my total thyroid taken out in uh, 2019, November 2019, and I haven't had, um, I've not had it balanced since 2019. So I go through phases of like very like mostly being hyper, which is a blessing and a curse, and also being hypo and very little, like it's just not been balanced. Luckily, I was able to start seeing a naturopath um, about 9 months ago who is helping me to try to get my thyroid on track. And that's been super helpful. As far as the thyroid eye disease, I haven't had any major recurrences or really any issues aside from the side effects that came from having untreated thyroid eye disease for as long as I did. Um, I was first diagnosed in like 2018 when I started having thyroid issues, and then I had the radioactive iodine uptake in it, and it attacked my eyes. I almost lost my vision then, and luckily I started seeing a neuro-ophthalmologist who helped save my vision. I was blessed enough to be able to go through the first round of 8 infusions of Tepezza when it first came on the market just a few years ago. It was about 7 or 8 months. I didn't have any issues after I finished the first round of Tepezza, but then I started having a flare-up of Tepezza, and so we did another 8 rounds of Tepezza. I don't know if they've changed the dosages in the last 2 years or a year and a half or so since I've taken it, but actually almost 2 years now since they've taken it. So it would be really interesting to catch up on that research, to be fair. I know it's still not available all over the world, and I do feel blessed to have been able to get it and then also be able to have at the time, I didn't have private insurance. I was on our state insurance here in Arizona and had to get it approved. It was a process that took almost 6 months. Both times I had to go through it, but I'm grateful that I was patient enough to do that, even though I was miserable. A lot of the symptoms I had during a flare-up is I had, of course, major pressure in my head. The pressure in each eye was very high, and it caused severe migraines. And for the first few years, they wanted to put a shunt in, but I did not want to have a shunt, so I just worked on like losing weight, and that has helped tremendously as well, I think. So just kind of having a balanced diet, and now the only vision issues I have, I'm almost back to like 20/20 vision. In fact, most of the time I only read. I work on a computer most of the time, so I have issues. The symptoms I still have from thyroid eye disease that are consistent are severe photophobia, like so very bright lights. I can only stand for a little while. I get really bad headaches or migraines. I have, of course, excess skin in my eyelids, and of course a little under my eyes too. The only thing that I've been told that can really help with that is if I got like a complete facelift, or they do have surgery for people after having been through treatment for thyroid eye disease, where they'll like take the skin out, but it's sometimes not always even. So like I don't want to undergo surgeries if I didn't need to. So anyway, aside from photophobia, my vision does fluctuate depending on the pressure that I'm feeling in my head at any given point. So if the pressure builds up, like if I get any sinus infections or have any issues with like seasonal allergies, which I'm literally allergic to everything, so it's fantastic. Like right now I'm even super stuffy, so I have a little bit of a headache. It causes my vision to, of course, get a bit more blurry because there's more spinal fluid in my head and things like that. So, I'm still dealing with, of course, like severe sensitivity to light, so the photophobia. I'm also dealing with, of course, like anytime I have any sinus issues or I'm super stuffed up, I have trouble seeing. I have a hard time seeing at night. I don't think that's ever going to go away. And another thing is I'm not able to close my eyes all the way when I'm sleeping. So if I don't wear a mask over my eyes while I'm asleep, I wake up with a lot of dust, gunk, and things in my eyes. And then I also have like very chronic dry eye because of that. So I have to use a lot of regular eye drops. I have steroidal eye drops if my eyes get, if I have really bad allergies and need to like kind of minimize them, that will work a little bit faster. And I also have a medication I've been on called Diamox. I've been on that pretty consistently for about a year and a half now. Diamox helps keep the pressure down altogether. So I know that that's helped. The side effects of the Diamox are a little weird because if you try to drink anything carbonated, it tastes like a fizzy salt when you drink it. So it's a little weird. Which is good because like ideally cut back on soda and carbonated stuff, and so there's good things and bad things, but altogether I'd say I'm doing really good. I haven't, aside from like I follow up with my neuro-ophthalmologist about twice a year now. I just had an eye exam, a regular eye exam, to get a new prescription for glasses due to an astigmatism and just my age, getting into my mid-40s and things. My vision, of course, is getting worse, but because it fluctuates so much, I need glasses to like read. And then now I have a mild bifocal prescription that I didn't have before. But if those are the things that I need to do so that I can like just be able to see and read and function, it's a blessing to be here from where I was 5 years ago when I almost went blind. So, all in all, I would say things are good. I have just kind of been ups and downs with trying to find this balance for my thyroid meds. I've done everything I was on. Like, I found the medication that I really liked. All doctors seem to want to do like a traditional like T3 and T4 replacement, like a levothyroxine and levothyronine together, and that just like I can't handle those two like well. I get even more like manic and erratic when my thyroid levels are overactive because I don't have anything to regulate my thyroid levels. So the problem with that is since the thyroid kind of helps to say like what serotonin, what cortisol, what the things are that you need from your brain to your body, not having it, there's a very limited regulation there. So it just kind of does what it does. And it's really hard. If ever they have a point where they start creating like new thyroids for people and wanting to like have test people for that, I'll probably be one of the first ones to sign up. But I don't know that will be in my lifetime. So overall, I'm doing much better. I have been on so many different types of thyroid therapy, and the Diamox kind of has helped, I think, keep from needing to do Tepezza, and helps keep my thyroid eye disease at bay. But I don't know that it's a medication I want to like be on long term unless I have another flare up. So of course I will post more videos. I will probably try to be off of the Diamox before the end of this year. So maybe starting 2025, either with the lower dosage or just minimizing the amount that I'm taking slowly but surely, and just hopefully like weaning off it a bit more. It does make me feel a little bit foggy too. So that's the goal. Like the goal is to take less meds and hopefully just find some balance in there, and I'm slowly getting there. It's taking time, unfortunately, but other people who have Graves' disease and thyroid eye disease together or separately, like, just know that you're definitely not alone in that struggle. It's so difficult to try to explain how these diseases interact together, how they just, how it starts, and knowing that, like, in some cases there's just no end to it, or there just goes into remission and will pop back up. It's just like any autoimmune disorder. I'll have thyroid eye disease forever. So, the hope is, of course, that maybe I'll never have to do Tepezza again, but I'm grateful that there are at least some decent options for people that can afford it. But I know that, like, not everyone can afford that. When I was going through those treatments, it was easily like $250,000 to $300,000 for the entire 6-month treatment for each one. And the fact that I was able to get that treatment at all is a miracle. And the fact that, like, I didn't have to pay much out of pocket for it, if I really didn't pay out of pocket at all for it, is just another, like I said, I feel eternally blessed for that. And I can now, like, sit here and say that, like, I'm probably about as good as I have been, or better than I have been in the last, like, 5 years. I am still dealing with the ups and downs of my thyroid, which is kind of a pain, but I'm able to, like, I work from home. My job lets me work remotely because of my thyroid eye disease. It's too bright to work in some environments, and so they work with me a lot, and I'm so grateful for that too, to be able to still be a functional human being, even if it's just quasi-functional most of the time. So I think that's about all I've got to say for now. If you have any questions about the Graves' disease or the thyroid disorders or the medications or the side effects or symptoms and of any of it, like, please, as always, don't ever hesitate to, like, send me a message or just comment, and I usually will respond to all the comments I get. So thank you guys that do watch and have reminded me to post some updates. I'm going to work on being a little bit better about that, but I'm good, probably, like I said, in the best spot I've been in at least the last 5 to 8 years health-wise. So hopefully I can kind of keep that going and keep this thyroid eye disease at bay and just try to level out my thyroid hormones. I think once the thyroid is leveled out, I will just be unstoppable. So I'm really excited to hopefully get that a little more figured out. But as always, it's just a balance of adding or taking away milligrams of, thyroid medication. So it's a constant lab work and constant just gauging how I feel and keeping track of those symptoms. So aside from that, all is well. I will try to post at least once every, like, 6 months or so if I have any updates or if anybody has any questions or anything, especially with the thyroid levels. Like, that's my new mission. And then if I ever should have to go through that again, and with the Tepezza, and I'm sure as I come off of Diamox, there might be some, I'm hoping that thyroid eye disease won't come back with, like, a vengeance, but I also don't want to be on a lot of medication that alters so much of how I think or feel too, when I'm already on, like, 3 or 4 that all have different things that they do just to impact or keep me functional with my thyroid and my minerals and vitamins and things like that, since I'm also slightly anemic. So it's a good time, constant balance, but I hope everybody is well. And as always, you're definitely not on these journeys alone. There's so many of us that are impacted by this stuff, and so I'm grateful that we now have this amazing worldwide way to, like, reach out and connect with everybody. So thank you for those that watch and follow, and I'll just kind of keep posting as I can. Thank you. Good night.